All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of the Juked podcast. I'm here with the author of Juked, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated, Nathan Haymer. Thank y'all for joining us today. And we welcome you to join in on this conversation. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a call-in option, 281-734-5683. Haymer, what's it been like since the last episode?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was nervous because when you be honest, some people can't accept the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been out 2 weeks now,
Yeah.
and I received a lot of positive reviews. Some negative too, but you need both. But most people just got it for what it was, so I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, going back to this story, you are at the top of the world for band heads. You are the director of bands at Southern University. If you go back to your time there, what would you say was your highest moment? Like that moment that just was like, wow, I'm on top of the world right now.
The whole 4-year tenure, and I hate to say 4 years, not because it's not the truth, but because we accomplished so much. How can you accomplish all that in 4 years? But every year was a different journey to greatness. When you ask me which year was the best, of course everybody loved 2014 because that's what put people on notice. But 15 was great, 16 was great, and 17 was great. 17 was the greatest, not because of the band, but because of the vision. Everything that I stated was coming to fruition. You can see it now. New instruments, better scholarships, all of that stuff. But the beginning was great too.
Yeah.
So the whole Haymer time era was just a journey. It was a vibe. And it really took me, I want to say, to after COVID, maybe like 2021, 2022, to really just digest what that era really meant and the shot in the arm that it gave to the band culture.
Absolutely. So, in the book and during the last podcast, you brought up a couple of things. You talk about a point where you feel like the band was just kind of dropped in your lap. Like you had always dreamt of being director of bands, but it didn't come the way that you thought that it would. Could you talk a little bit about that? And could you lean into, because there's going to be some people who are watching who are aspiring band directors. Mm-hmm. They're aspiring band students. Mm-hmm. Like, what does it feel like when the thing that you wanted is handed to you in a package that...
I can tell you, we all have dreams. We all have fantasies. It never happens like that in real. We watch movies. Life is not Hollywood. Life is life, and life be lifing.
Yes.
And you ask for something. Be careful what you ask for, because you're gonna get it, but you're not gonna get it the way you dreamed it would be.
Right.
And like I said, what was the ritual? Like, there wasn't none of that. It's yours.
Yeah.
So take the ball, take the hot potato, and run with it.
Absolutely.
And run with it. When you get what you asked for, just know that all the tools and everything you need to succeed is already within you. And that's what I would have told myself back in 2014. I was very, I'm going to say, the biggest hater of Haymer was Haymer.
Mm.
The things that I told myself in the dark corners of my mind, like, you ain't prepared, you ain't ready. But everything that I needed was already within me. And I didn't realize that until my last year. Like, I got this, but I've been had it. So you don't ever doubt yourself. That's what I advise future leaders, future directors. Don't ever, the doubt's going to be there. Well, the great Nathan Haymer, because I hear a lot of people hit me, Nathan Haymer back in the day did this and this. Don't look at me. Don't look at any other director that you admire. But if you do, just know we had our problems and our setbacks too. You are not alone in this.
There are probably a lot of either band staff or band directors at programs that probably are put in positions like the one that you were put in the book, where you're behind a rock and a hard place. At one point in the book, you talk about how there were funds that were meant for the band that was going everywhere else. And I'm pretty sure there are people who are watching right now who've done fundraisers, who've done X, Y, and Z, and been put in that position where you can't necessarily get the things done for your program that you want. You know, there are probably high school band directors who have counselors who won't put the freshmen in 5th grade algebra so you can da-da-da-da-da. How do you sort of work around that? Because you were a high school band director at one point.
I would tell you don't fight the system like I did. Yeah, I was always a rebel. And when you're a rebel, you get popular real quick, but then you get out of position real quick too. Mm-hmm. You have to understand how to make people, your power is your organization, make it the best it could be, and influence people to work with you. Like, there was a point in the book where I was called into the controller's office, and when I realized that funds were going to other places, which the university has every right to do, it's not illegal. Mm-hmm. Because that is Southern University's band. That's what people at Southern University's what? Band. Southern University's first. Yeah. So the president told me at my termination hearing, I don't care if you raise $10 million. I decide where it go. Wow. And as mad as I was, he's correct. And you have to understand that. You don't own anything around. I don't care how much work you do. It is not yours. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. But I learned where funds were going, and it led me to do things to keep funds within the band. And that's where I got in trouble. But what I would tell future leaders, don't fight the system. Try to influence the system through your power, and your power is your organization. Make it the best it could be.
Absolutely. So, you know, Haymer time was an era. How did you balance, like, you know, I could just imagine becoming band director at such a historic institution as Southern University with the alumni, and, you know, I'm pretty sure there were a lot of like, no, we want it, keep doing it like this. Like, I could imagine when y'all went from those fiberglass tubas, I could imagine that being like a thing. Right? Like, what were some of those things where, you know, you're this new young band director?
It was a thing, but I was bold, and I didn't care. You know, I'm going to say this. My vision, I close my eyes, and I see the band on the field in concert formation. Those of you band heads know what that means. And I saw all gold everything. I think it's a rap song, ain't it? Yeah, all gold. I want everything gold. I even want my drums wrapped in gold. Oh, man. And I don't care who don't like it. Matter of fact, that was tradition, fiberglass. We playing on Tonka. I call it Tonka toys. You remember Tonka? I say Tonka because I'm from Louisiana. Tonka toys. We had Tonka tubas. Like, no. And I understood the history of it, but no. We got to go to some 24Ks. I want 24 carats. Yes. And it was a bold move. And it was a lot of people who was against it, but I didn't care. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So.
We want to give a shout out to those who are joining. I see Knee High Nation. I see DJ Rob 504. I see Kristen Spiller. Feel free to put your comments in the chat. And if you have any questions, as well as there's a number. If you want to call in, 281-734-5683. Nathan, I'm going to read the beginning of chapter 5 here. It says, Baton Rouge is 80 miles away from New Orleans. Being so close in proximity, the band participates in Mardi Gras parade season. Unlike years past, the band was already in shape for the parades, thanks to finishing 2 performances in January. Still, I wasn't satisfied. I had a point to prove, and that point was that the Human Jukebox is the king of bands. As we prepare for parade season, I had the band march around campus. It is my belief that the best way to prepare for a parade is to practice daily like you're in a parade. Mm-hmm. We marched the perimeter of the SU campus from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Thursday. I would often march to the area of campus where the students would hang out in front of their dormitories. We called it the circle. On Fridays, we didn't have classes, so we marched around campus during the day from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Using the practice as a time to be political, I would lead the band on a different route through campus and stop for a performance in front of the university's administration building as a thank you to all the secretaries and receptionists that would often help me. A lot of people obviously helped you to be director of bands and get a lot of things done. You know, while you were director of bands at Southern, y'all did a lot of stuff. Can you talk a little bit about like the people behind the scenes that made stuff happen?
And I'm glad you pointed that out because I know exactly that was 2014, 15 year. So that's the spring of 15, January, February. The people who really helped me are the people that most people ignore. The janitors, the secretaries, the receptionists. They know the ins and outs of every office. They help me get meetings with presidents. If you don't have favor with them, whatever you trying to do, you go in there with a stack of papers, oh, hell, they will be nice to you. They're going to make sure it go to the bottom of the list or wherever, file 13.
Yeah.
So, around that time, we started our jukebox store. It was an online store. You get umbrellas, you can get aprons, oven mitts, just random things that had Human Jukebox on it. I had a whole bunch of that, and I would go around campus making friends. And these receptionists, these secretaries, and these custodians will give me so much insight of what I need to do when I get in these meetings. Everything they told me worked. So, leaders out there, do not think you better than anybody. It is the quote-unquote small people on campus that know how it operates. Those are people whose career, they be there 20, 30, 40 years throughout whatever administration going through that. But they could tell you the ins and outs of that campus, of that office, and what you need to do. So that's what helped me be successful, is making friends with what I call the small people.
Absolutely. You know, episode 1 of this podcast, we had the director of bands at Texas Southern University, Brian Simmons. You were asked by your predecessor, if you were to be director of bands, who would you choose? And you said Brian Simmons. What made you choose Brian to be put on staff?
What? I mean, people see him now, so it's not even a question. But what y'all see now, I saw day one. The funny thing, I'm glad you asked that, is because when I first selected Brian, and y'all keep it real, the ones in-house, y'all know everybody in the world was calling me crazy. Why the hell he picked him? And they ain't say hell, they probably used the F word. And then, Brian, Mr. Simmons, he heard a lot of chatter too, and he was in his feelings. And I remember giving him advice to pimp his pen. You gotta respond to none of that. Pimp your pen. By the first game, he had hits every game, but his first hit was Bohemian Rhapsody. If you watch Wayne's World, it was big on that, but it's by a rock band called Queen. So that's not even in a genre that Human Jukebox is known for. It's not even nothing I probably would have written. And I heard the song, Wayne's World introduced me to the song. That was 1992, a long time ago. But when Brian Simmons did that, it gave me a whole new appreciation. This brother is so talented. He's just gifted. He was just blessed by God. Some people born with it. I had to work for mine. Brian is born with his. And people were still questioning us because we played, that first game was ULL, University of Lafayette, Louisiana. Second game, I think we played the University of Arkansas, Monticello. Both PWIs, predominantly white institutions, white schools. The third game, Alcorn, is what gave us our street cred because they thought we were just Hollywood. Because, see, the first two games, you had celebrities tweet. You had Mariah Carey, you had Pharrell. All these people would tweet performances on Twitter. It's X now, but this when it was Twitter. And it's like, man, this celebrity shot at the Jukebox just a celebrity band now. So when we faced Alcorn for our third game, that's when people stopped asking questions. Alcorn battle was tactical. So tactical that Ocho Cinco, he was with who? I want to say Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
And gave it a shout out. But that battle was tactical because I had to let the world know, the band world know, that it's Haymer time. Like it, hate it, whatever. But we here to take over. And that's exactly what we did. And they didn't question anybody else who was on my staff. They didn't question Dr. Taylor because Dr. Taylor, and I have to give him a shout out too, he had the experience. So he had the experience, and what, quote unquote, Southern University used to do is get this next high school band director that was hot. He had the hottest band. Baker High School was winning everything at the time.
Who's this?
Kedrick Taylor, who's the director now. So they didn't question him. Well, why the hell Brian Simmons here? He just got out the band. But after Alcorn,
that was it. If you're watching, go ahead and put Haymer in the chat on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you'd like to call in, there's the number right there. Call in and chop it up with Haymer. I'm going to ask the folks to put up You're My Star. Now, you referenced this last time. You referenced a story, and I'll let you elaborate on it a bit, but it was the fact that you would like to sometimes sit outside the band hall and listen to your band play. You said you could hear it better that way. Could you go in on that?
Well, as far as You're My Star, that wasn't an outside experience. You're My Star, that's by Tank. You're My Star is the first arrangement of Brian Simmons when he first got there. I'm not going to say that was his first arrangement. Brian Simmons wrote it.
Wow.
But that was the first one that I actually just had time to hear. Because taking over the band, I was always in meetings and stuff, so I'm away from campus.
Cool.
And if you read the book, that's when I wrecked the car or whatever. So I'm coming to campus, and I'm already having an attitude. And I walk in, and I say, this dude is running my band, which I referenced in the last, part 1, shall I say, episode 1. And when I heard the song, I was I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked because I already knew what he could do. But it's just like, I want to just be a fan so bad. But this is like the third day of band camp, and I can't let y'all know y'all all that. So I'm just taking it, and the band just.
What year was this? And y'all can go ahead and
2014.
Play it. 2014. No, this is 112. It's
that's
another one. Another one that you said.
That's Texas Summer. That is Mr. Hunter, arranger for the Texas Motion song. This is my favorite song by him that I referenced to.
What is it exactly that you like about it? Because you mentioned
this song came out in 1996. It reminds me senior year of high school, driving my Nova, 1977 Chevy Nova that was rust and green, mostly rust. Just put $20 of gas in my car. No air conditioner. Hot. Wife beat on, arm out the weather, just drive it. Bought some speakers because they didn't have no sound in the car. Bought some speakers from Walmart and just hooked it up myself. So it's kind of regular, but I'm just jamming this in a CD player. CDs was big, dude. Yeah, the CD player was rich. And it just brings me back to that time of just being carefree. Didn't have nothing but just being there.
So you reference it. Is it more so the arrangement, or is it more so the song and the memory?
Well, it's the memory, but it's the arrangement too. See this? He took different mixes. This is like the remix and the original in one. Like that's an arranger right there. Like I would have been too busy fanning out as a band. I'd have been up front. They would have to tell me to sit down. Like this is what I'm talking about. So this is my favorite song by the Ocean for personal reasons, but man, they got many good songs. But the Ocean been kicking ass for the last couple of years, shall I say.
And what do you think it is specifically about Brian Simmons as, head guy? What do you think? Because you like he worked under you, so what is it like to then look and see him leading?
I always knew Brian was going to lead, but Brian brings an energy that's contagious, and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna get on board. And Brian is the only person I know that can give somebody a nickname, and they're insulted by it, and maybe like 2 weeks later they go by it, they accept it.
Okay, Fat Bobby.
Fat Bobby. And I can keep naming names, but it's insulting names. If like, why do you call that dude Fat Bobby?
Okay.
But then at the end of the day, it's just like Brian is the only one that could think of that. Brian is quick on his feet, and he brings a energy that's contagious. So anything that he be a part of, I know it's gonna be great.
Absolutely. I wonder if we can bring up You're My Star, because that's another one of the links that we want to bring up.
This is the first arrangement where I walked in and had to tell the band, y'all better sit down. That sounds horrible. And I was lying. I really couldn't tell y'all how great y'all was. I wanted to sit there just like, shit. But it was like the second or third day. Oh, no. That's the one. Yes. They got it. And we didn't play it that much. I think we played it maybe 1 or 2 games. Mm-hmm. But Brian did so much that year. The staff really did. We all did so much that year that we couldn't just stay on one tune.
Right.
So, man.
I see Anthony Macbeth. He says, I see you, man. Speak, bro. We're going to let them bring up You're My Star, which is actually, I want to say it was like the first, or not, actually it was the third link. So if you could bring up the third link.
And this recording is actually from August, maybe the second or third week this was before the first game. But we were in there. This is the time that, are we going to be a hit? Do I know what I'm doing? I'm questioning myself. So
are you questioning yourself because this is, and also explain that to me. Like, so you go from being assistant to being like, now you're interim. What does that feel like? And to the
There's so many reasons why I question myself. Reason number one is promising and realizing you don't have the resources. Like, you read the book, I couldn't even pay Dr. Taylor. I had to find funds to pay him. After the university said you can hire him. Now, thing about it, I called him when he was in his band room. I could hear him practicing. I can hear clarinets playing.
Wherever he was.
He was at Baker High School.
Okay.
And I told him I'm going to hire him. He resigned from his position, excited and everything, and in a couple of days, we don't have the funds to pay him.
Who says they don't have the funds?
The same guy who I referenced, another vice chancellor. And all of this is a text conversation, by the way, because he didn't want to talk to me. Pay him through band camp. How did I do that? Band camp is the high school camp, the funds we bring in. And I had to go to the controller's office, and that's when I met a person, and all of that's in the book. So that caused me to question myself. Number two, I was still interim director of bands. The chair of the board, which I would not name her name. Like Brian always been that guy. We don't even have shirts. Like, I don't have the money for the S's at the time. The S's what we wear, so everybody's have on t-shirt. But this is like the beginnings. This is the humble beginning. Yeah. Some people have an S on, that mean they're upper class. So they got it from the previous year.
My younger brother, my only brother, is headband director at LSIC. And, they had the UIL performance a couple of months ago. And I walk in, and I see somebody conducting, and I don't think that it's my brother. Because I'm like, oh, this must be, like, they must be coming up, because I've never seen him, like, wow. It was exhilarating. It was like, whoa.
Power of music turns you into another character. Or even your own family be like, I have a twin brother. And he actually saw me in action, and he had the same reaction, like, is that Nathan?
Yeah. It's like, or something.
But this is when I knew he was going to be all right.
Since episode 1, I have listened to this easily 50 times. Easily 50
And guess
times.
what? We didn't even play it that much. We couldn't. We had so much going on. But I think this one was just for me. I think we played the first game, maybe the second. Bad heads know, but we didn't. When we was getting into the boom box and the battles, we didn't use this. We had so many songs. So I wanted to get into the part. people have to realize I was interim director of bands from June all the way into October 17th.
Wow.
And at that time, I was told by the chair of the board that I was ghetto, I didn't know how to write music, and I didn't deserve the job. So that's the chair of the board. The board decides whether they go by the president's or the chancellor's recommendation, and they say, okay, he's gonna be our director. She's the chair, so I'm thinking the whole board think like this. Mind you, I was running the band as assistant.
Yeah.
Writing everything. Like, lady, where the hell you been?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. But I had to sit there and take that on the chin.
Wow.
You don't know how to write music. You're ghetto. You this. But I'm going to tell you this. You're interim director. So, ha, ha, ha. Son, and I referred to, she had like a Queen Elizabeth tone. So she's one of those bourgeois. She's from New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say her name. They can look it up. It's all good.
If you know, you know.
So I'll tell you what, I was friends with the Greggs family. Dr. Greggs is my band director. And I know something about bands. So you're first chair. Is that a thing? I'm like, yeah, we have chairs. So first chair is like the section leader. So you're the section leader. But there's going to be people who's going to challenge you for your chair. If you don't defend your chair, you won't be the director. Now, you talking this crap to me. No, it's August. Like, you're my star, all this going on. I'm running the band, but you talking all this crap to me like I'm not good enough. And I have to sit here and take that on the chin and still tell my assistants we going to be all right. So I had to turn to something I wasn't. And that stuff just drive you crazy. So they had me messed up from day one. And which I really wanted to say, lady, you ain't got no other choice but to make me band director. I'm here right now, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't say that. You arrogant. You rude. They didn't know. My assistants was making more than me.
Wow.
As interim director, I made $40,000 a year.
Wait, pause right there.
Yes.
$40,000 a year is a little more than $3,000 a month before taxes. And you work in how many hour days?
Is that $3,000 a month?
$3,000 a month gives you 36. I mean, that's before taxes. So after taxes, it's...
It was like $1,900. But this
and how many hours are you working?
16, 17, 18 plus. So, but I only made $40,000 as assistant. So the $40,000 was still my assistant pay. But to tell the truth, in August, they moved me up. So June and July, I hired all my assistants at a little higher salary than mine. They wasn't making no money but they was making more than me. So that's what a lot of people don't know.
You hired your assistants making more than you. Why was that?
To attract the men. Dr. Taylor was already a high school band director, so I had to beat his salary, even if it was about $1. I had to beat it.
You had to make it worth his
high school band directors make that much, but $40,000 as an assistant band director at Southern is insulting. And if I can do anything to change that, whether y'all like me or hate me, it shouldn't be. That shouldn't have been in 2014, let alone in 2025. I don't know what they make now, so I'm not saying that. But yeah, $40,000. But I got a pay raise in August. I'm balling now. They moved me to $60,000, which was still an insult. Yeah. But I was happy that was a $20,000 raise. And October I went to $76,000, and then 2017, after all that success, is when I went to $110,000. That's where I left that with. I raised that salary, so anybody who sat in the seat after me, they was gonna get that at a minimum.
Yeah.
Now, that's not what Lawrence Jackson made. That's not what Dr. Greggs made. That's just what Southern threw at me.
Yeah.
Like you a peasant.
Yeah.
And we was producing some legendary times.
Wow. And you know what's interesting, and you point to this throughout your book, you point to the fact that, you were very good at the band director part, which was like lead the band, but you weren't good at the politics. But at a place like Southern, or even people that are band directors now, if you're the band director at a high school, you got to deal with that football coach, you got to deal with that principal, you got to deal with that fine arts director. Like it's a lot of juggling.
Well, let me tell you why band directors are horrible with politics. Good band directors, like horrible band directors, they are great politicians. And there's a few horrible ones out there. I'm not naming no names because I don't know any, so don't even start that. But good band directors, in order to be great at this craft, you're an artist. It's just like an actor. It's just like you use a certain side of your brain that deals with emotion. You can't write good music. You can't produce good shows and put on good production if you're not an emotional person. But you have to take that hat off and deal with facts and figures on this side. It's a right brain, left brain. And in order to be good, you have to be, as a band director and director of bands, because that's two different things. A lot of
Can
people
you explain
don't
the
know.
difference? Explain that difference. I didn't know that.
A lot of people like to say they're director of bands and they're a band director. Director of bands meaning you oversee a staff and you're the administrator to make sure they have all of the tools they need. You're more of the administrator who deals with the facts, the figures, who to talk to those politicians and all the stuff and not be so emotional. Band director is the one who make the action happen. And when you do both, it makes you crazy because you got to take one out, take the other. But at heart, I'm a band director. I'm a musician. So when you try to mess over my organization, of course I'm going to feel a certain type of way.
Absolutely.
That's what led me to handle some situations how I shouldn't have handled it, because it's just a love. And anybody out there who's leading your bands, you know exactly what I'm saying. But you have to take that hat off and just look at facts and figures. You got to be a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, pretty much, and just look at numbers, which we don't do, but you have to do that.
Yeah. I want to read a bit of Chapter 9, and I want to also acknowledge somebody who made some comments. Go Cardi 87 said, Haymer shut it down when Grambling came to Lake Charles. So I don't know what that's about. But Chapter 9 starts off, and by the way, y'all, get Juked the book. It is available on Amazon. You can go to jukedthebook.com and it'll lead you right there, or you can search for it on Amazon. I'm going to read a bit of it. Up to this point, I've dealt with politics, staffing, marketing, and brand management, dancing doll tryouts, and developing good relationships with my supervisor. I'm ready to work with what I truly care about, and the reason why I'm back at my alma mater, the Southern University Band. However, before I could focus on the good stuff, I have to deal with the MBM team's distraction prior to band camp.
You notice, first of all, that's Chapter 9. When I'm finally ready to focus on why are we here? Because you're a band director. It took 9 chapters to get to the band because the first 8 is all the BS.
Yes.
That you got to get to just to get to your kids.
Yes.
So I want to acknowledge that. The MBM team, ooh. What do I say?
Well, y'all changed the game. I will say that y'all were the first to really do that, and there were pros and cons to it.
Yes, we were. But if I'm going to be honest,
and tell folks what the MBM team is.
Marketing and brand management team. And I didn't need that.
Really didn't.
I was doubtful in myself. And the leader of the MBM team was the band's biggest hater. He marched in the band. He marched a year before me, his crab year. So he crabbed 96, I crabbed 97. So we were in band for 3 years. And he's the same guy he was then. Wow. And it's not to hate on him. It's just like you wasn't a fit. But you got there because I doubted myself. But you were necessary to make me realize, because you wasn't doing anything but being a showboat, and I got this. It took me 3 years to say, I don't need you. Really, 2. And if you look at the book, my main advisor, the one who was making things happen for me, is a young lady from Hollywood named Sonia Norwood, the mother of Brandy and Ray J. Without getting too much into that, she's the one who provided all the opportunities. How did I get to Floyd Mayweather? How did I get to the Grammys? How did we get to all this? MBM team just got in front of that. But she's the one who made me realize that, hey, man, you got this. Like, these people not calling you because of me and favors. They calling me because you have a product.
Absolutely.
So just keep doing your job. So I realized my true power maybe 3 years, and 3 years into the job. And I want to tell people, just don't doubt yourself. Of course, the doubt's going to be there, but just go with your gut and your intuition. You're going to be all right. So what would I tell the Haymer from 2014 if this guy had to visit him? Look, dude, this is what you're going to look like in the future. You making some bad decisions. Don't doubt yourself. Like, at the end of the day, the biggest hater, I named quite a few, but none was bigger than me in my head.
Can you expound on
The
that?
things that we tell ourselves in the dark corners of our mind stick with us. That decides what kind of day we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Brian Simmons in episode 1 pointed it out, like, see how you sitting here? I hope this work. I hope this work. It's going to work because it's you. Like, people see confidence in me, what I exude, but I'm always doubting myself. And I had to learn, stop doubting yourself. This person going to say this. I don't care what they say now. But it took a while to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, all things work together for the good. You need evil. You need darkness, and you need sunlight. You need both to balance out. Mm-hmm. So both of those powers are going to be there, and you just got to know how to work them.
Absolutely. A. Skeet Washington said most folks don't mention the difference between a band director and a director of bands.
I'm glad he pointed it out. Difference. I know Skeet Washington.
Yes.
I know who you are.
Ray J01 said Prof. Haymer redefined branding in the HBC universe. I would say that is very true. Like,
and you know what? Everybody tells me that, and I accept it now, but that wasn't the goal. That was just what came along with it. Like, when you, and I guess when anybody starts a new wave, they're just trying something, and they don't realize what they're really doing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize what I was really doing, what we was creating, but I knew it was something special. But when I saw all the bands starting to change up, I was like, oh, yeah. But I never was out there just like, I did this, I did that. No, I was still just trying to make my band relevant to get what we needed for the students, the resources we needed for the students. It was my dream, and I didn't get there. I wanted every student in the band to get a full scholarship. And if you act up, I was going to deduct it away from you. Yeah, minus 1,000, minus this, you know, just for things to make sure they on point, but just to make sure they have what they need. But I was always fearful of being a band or being that family with too much money and spoiling your kids too.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that's the down effect of having all the resources. So I always wanted them to be hungry, but I always wanted to have the resources to make it a reality. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to balance that out, and we were doing that because every year, when I look back, every year got better and better as far as resources for me, but it got worse and worse as far as problems because I wasn't playing the politics. It was just like, man, I don't give a damn what y'all say. We need blah, 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 blah. I was just too straight up and too uncut for them.
And I like the fact that you said you were, meaning that was past tense.
Yes.
And so one of the points that you mentioned that you want to make sure that folks get out of the book are like leadership lessons. So like looking at that again, hypothetically, you know, John Doe University president reaches out and is like, hey, we want to offer 500, like we want Haymer to come. Can you talk about what, based on, and we touched on this a little bit earlier from your assistant, who's now the director at Texas Southern, like what are some of the things that you see in his leadership that came directly from like you working with him? Like, and he talked about it a little bit, but I would love to get your
definitely
reaction.
His passion, his energy, and his drive, because that's the raw material you need to create a band and create a following. Passion, energy, and drive. But beyond that, what I admired, I don't admire that within him because I saw that from the beginning. And I know he has that. I admire his maturity to separate that and not make it so personal. And that's what I made it personal. Like, this is mine.
Yes.
Like, you insulted me. So what would I do differently? Okay, that's all we have. Oh, because of that, we're going to have to cut the band down to half sides. Oh, yeah, we might have T-shirt and jeans on. Oh, we can't march. Like, you dealing with Asians, they some proud people. Well, what do you propose?
Yeah.
Make it a partnership. Let everybody have skin in the game, and don't come in just so rah, 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 me, mine, this is what, because I'm trying to protect the kids. No, just say, okay,
Yes.
Go with this is what y'all propose. So because we only have X amount, this is what I can do for you, and let them make the decision.
And let them figure it out.
Right.
So we have a couple of questions. So we have Young Boy K30 says, "Are you still friends or talk to other HBCU band directors currently?"
All day, every day.
Okay.
All day, every day. Yes, yes. We are brothers. We are brothers. And I have to say this just so I can have a viral moment. And I'm not gonna name it. It's only one HBCU band director that I can't stand. You know I always got to put that out there. And guess what? It ain't the one at Southern, so don't say Dr. Taylor, because it ain't him. I know y'all want to think that. Where he at, I ain't going to tell you, but it's only one that got a baton stuck up his...
Oh, actually, we were talking about that in the break.
Yes, we did. But other than that, everybody else was cool. I was cool with everybody. I'm going to crank on you when I see you. Yes. Ain't that personal, but it is what it is.
Yes.
And that's what I want to say this before you. Yeah. I was disrespectful. And I don't owe no apologies to nobody. When I say disrespectful, that's one of the clips, maybe to come up. My first year, I remember going to Alabama A&M. First of all, it was nobody on the home side other than the band. Maybe 5 people. If I'm exaggerating, no. Maybe I miscounted 7 people. I'm sorry. You can look at the clips. Like, Jaguar Nation, like, why are we here? That trip cost over $50,000. We didn't go to A&M for a long. That was 2006, the last time we went to Alabama A&M when I was assistant. So now it's 2014. That's 8 years, and I'm just like, we here. The cop tells me, the campus police, we're out there warming up by the stadium. We get ready to march. You cannot march in until our band march in. Nobody there. Wow. I said, yes, ma'am. Police beat. They playing. I said, yes, ma'am. We started marching in. I ignored her orders. So you just, by the time she said, we already at the gate. Like, lady, don't play with me. Hey, what you gonna do? Get mad because I'm doing my job? You're under arrest for marching the band in a stadium when it's open. And I know why. She didn't want us to blow on the band. So A&M come in. We blew on them, of course, being rude.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we tell them, hey, Alabama A&M, go home. This is our stadium.
Oh, I think we have that. I
think we talk trash to a lot of bands, but that's where it started.
I had them to have ASU to come up, but I think that is one of the clips that they actually have, and as they bring that up, well, no, actually, that's Alcorn that they have, and we'll get to that one next. But I want to bring this one up because this Alabama State University, people were curious because you said, I love ASU. In the last podcast,
I do love Alabama State,
and then there was a bit of a edit.
Y'all cut the scene.
The scene was cut.
Oh, we got something playing right now.
And so let's see what this is. We can't hear it in the control room.
I think this is Superstar, Luther Vandross. Came out in the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just the intro. It's just the intro.
So is this 0 quarter?
This is 0 quarter. You can hear drums in the background.
Because they're marching in?
They're marching in.
ASU is marching in?
Alabama A&M.
Oh, Alabama A&M.
So this is just the verse. He just kept pounding. Like, as soon as I finished, Brian come up. As soon as Brian finished, Taylor comes up. And he just pounding. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. How many people you see? You see a lot of count the audience, because that's the whole audience. Yeah, maybe like a sprinkle of people further down. But section 23, nobody. 24, 7 people. So we made this trip.
How much does it cost? How much does it cost to take a band that size to an away game?
This is
estimate
11 years ago, and that was over $50,000.
$50,000.
So back then, if inflation for 2025, I would say 75.
So like explain to people who don't know like me. I mean, of course there's buses. I mean, but it's an away game, and y'all understand it's hotels,
buses,
right?
The biggest cost is the bills. Travel. And Chris is always the big call.
Simmons wrote this, right?
Backstab. It's like the second line, but
Yeah, it is.
Brian actually wrote that for the New Orleans All-Star.
Really?
He was one of the arrangers and writers for the New Orleans All-Star band while he was 2010. So he was a freshman in 2010.
So he's a
So
freshman.
he came in. Let's say everybody knew who he was because he was out there making noise before
And
he was even a freshman. So he was still in high school making noise. Like, the brother's bad. The brother Cole, he don't act
it's
like
good.
Hey, he don't know his true power. He said I was a genius. He don't know he's a genius.
He is. He is. It was. You see, Nathan J. Gray says Haymer never gave himself enough credit, even when he was brand new at Washington Marion. In my opinion, he was too humble. Of course, growth would come. He started out on fire. Ray J. Raja says must be FAMU. They said they're trying to figure out.
No, it's not FAMU's band director. The one I don't like, it's not FAMU's band director. I don't even know. I know who he is, Dr. Chippin. I don't know him personally, but he seems like a cool dude. It's not him. Stop guessing. You ain't gonna guess. But it's definitely not him.
BB Bourbon 90 says, I wish Haymer would consider ASU when Oliver retires.
I ain't saying how to how, but all is fair game.
There you go. There you go. Brian Miles says, during my tenure as chief music arranger at Alabama A&M University, I
Brother
always
Lyle.
enjoyed battling against SU. Haymer, you made your impact 2003 and 2012. Gold Cardi says, it's got to be ASU.
Not ASU.
And then Joe also said ASU took several L's. It's a banger says, when I was at that game, Gold Cardi says, Bama State took that L in 2015, especially when they played in the world.
We're gonna talk about that. Right now we on backstage.
Yes.
What they do.
There you
They
go.
smile in your face. And what is this?
This is it's one of the clips. It's one of the clips.
I'm
I
trying to
don't know
think
if it
what
was.
song this is.
Oh, that's coming
Taylor
out.
up there. I think that's if I'm wrong, they gonna tell me, I think this is Mariah Carey song. About Thirsty. If I remember correct. It was a brand new. Matter of fact, I think she was one of the artists who tweeted. Playing the song. Mariah Carey.
Mariah.
So tell the truth. People from Hollywood play two guys on first game, and we had all types of celebrity tweets. So this is later on in the year. But for Hollywood, too, we got the All-Star, which is another story. We're talking about the All-Star
Beer says, wow, who wrote that movie Superstar? Didn't even give it all to him.
Superstar was written in 1984 by Roy Johnson. But the arrangement was missing. That's the arrangement. He did a dedication to Dr. Griggs. I just put that on TikTok. The Homecoming. Dr. Griggs died in 2014, like April. And I became director shortly after. So Homecoming was a dedication to him. In 1984, with the solo band, Dr. Griggs is conducting his part out with Superstar. Somebody singing. So my tribute to him was just an intro. We didn't have the music anymore. But I had a young man who did so well, who created songs just like 1984. Who was that young man? Brian Simmons wrote it. Brian Simmons wrote Superstar. All right, yeah.
So let's go to.
I think that one was Thursday. I don't know if I want to hear this one. This my thing. You could have me marching around here.
Oh! you know, planning, need a little more. As we were planning Juked the podcast, you were adamant about this being your audio tape.
That's my theme song. Because it's my whole vibe. We're gonna get it done, and I don't give up.
Really?
The first time I passed this out to Southern band.
So you passed this.
I wrote this. I wrote this actually in 2002.
I didn't know that. I did not know
This
that.
is Lil Jon.
Okay.
Kings of Crunk.
Okay.
Like, yeah. That's when all that stuff was hot.
Okay.
But that's my era. 2002. I did not know that you wrote. I was like 24, 25. Yes, I wrote this song.
See, now it makes sense.
So I wrote this in Washington area in Southern. But I didn't pass out in 2008. And it took some of my former band members to remind me of who I was. Like 2006, we didn't play in 2007, but some of my former band members who now played in Southern Band, but they was in Washington area, like, why don't you pass out that I Don't Give a? And I'm like, no, we can't. You hear this blasphemy?
Who is that now?
They played it back at us.
Oh, they played it back.
It's like a mosquito bite. Like, we just shot them with a AK, was it AR or whatever, and they came back and bit us with mosquitoes.
So tell me, in this instance, I'm assuming it's a member of the staff who's like, we got that too. Let's play it. But shouldn't somebody come in and say, no?
They have like 100 people on their side. Well, 45.
And let me ask you.
And we have like 7. So the game is like all the money, and we so I was like, we're gonna make a moment of this. Like, we put through all this to
and it's their home.
Yeah.
And look at the side.
It's
but it's still
on both sides. It's
But
poorly attended on
still,
both sides. I don't remember the football records to say maybe their team was losing, but no.
So I gotta ask you. So we've seen
Nice stadium that's just band and flags.
But we see this with HBCUs. We see this big uptick with Jackson State University when they have prime time, right? We've seen these upticks. In your opinion, what does it take? Man, it's early attendance on both sides. It's more
Just
people
told
in the
them to go
band.
home. This is our stadium. Y'all can cut it down. We done seen enough.
Oh, yeah. We can cut this
I
one
would just tell
and go
you-
to the next one.
Being a band director and being a football coach is 2 totally different powers.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. We've all played football, basketball, in the streets, or whatever growing up.
I haven't, though, but
Especially if you was born in the 70s like me, grew up in the 80s. I don't know what kids do today, but we all played basketball, football, all that stuff. So whether you played it or not in high school or in college, you're familiar with it.
Yes.
If you watch it or whatever. So we appreciate athletes more than we do musicians.
True.
Because as a community, we're just not as familiar with bands and all that stuff. But it's the same fight, same plight. And what Deion Sanders did as a coach at Jackson State, all the things he was speaking, he had the power to do so because he was Deion. But his story was no different from mine.
right.
I just didn't have the name and the notoriety behind it. But what he did for HBCU football can't be denied. Like that was a power move that was needed for the time. And whoever made the decision at Jackson State to hire him, you made a great decision.
Yes.
I don't know if they're still there or not, but they made a great decision because it was a shot in the arm, not only for Jackson State, but for just the culture. We needed that.
Mm-hmm. And I think along those lines, like, we heard directly from Deion Sanders that, like, he would have loved to stay at Jackson State, but it was going to take a lot of resources, and a lot of the people that were patting Jackson State on the head and saying rah, 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 weren't putting the funding and weren't putting the energy behind it.
Ain't that the story of just being black in America, though? Ain't that the story for black businesses, black radio stations, black media? Like we always have to be innovative, and we always has to be resilient.
Mm-hmm.
It's so resilient.
Yes.
They just stand up against all this oppression. Why the hell we have to be resilient in 2025, and why we can't just be
Very true.
who we are.
Very true.
But that's who we have to be.
Right. Without the struggle. We have a caller. Go ahead and put the caller through.
Okay.
And we can't hear the caller if they are if you're patching them through. Call if you're on, say hello. Oh, they left. Okay, caller, you can.
That was a prank call.
That was a prank call.
They trying to see if they could get through.
But if you too would like to be a caller, you can call in at 281-734-5683 and we will bring you on. But you're absolutely right. Like that becomes part of the issue. And I think one of the things that I got from your book, Juked, was the fact that like in PWIs, it's the football team. It gets all the attention. When halftime comes, you know, my brother, Devontae Hicks, he played at Stephen F. Austin University. Great band, by the way. But at halftime, they had a different reaction than a Southern university.
Do you know, I laugh because in 2015, I was offered a PWI position. I think I notated that in the book. Matter of fact, I know I did. 2015. And I turned it down because I have the job of my dreams. And knowing what I know now, I don't regret turning that down.
Wow.
Because they was just using me to get whatever they can get out. I would have still been fired.
Right.
Put it like by now. They would have got the little coach they needed, and they would have sent me on my way. They would have paid me well for it. But no. But PWI is going to get what they need. What gets me about a PWI, and really not a PWI, they're going to be who they are. The black people who support it. And they look so out of tune, so out of character, so out of, okay, we're going to play the music your way then, sir, and watch everybody go to the concession stand for halftime. Yes. I don't give a damn what y'all think. Oh, they blowing loud, whatever. I'd rather you boo me than talk over my show. Have a whole So how's Lily doing? Who the hell is Lily, and why am I hearing this conversation? And that's what those type of band directors hear. We're going to do the theme from Star Wars, and everybody just talking and shitting on the show. Now, with me, oh my God, it's just so loud. And I'm glad you said that because you paying attention.
Right.
I'd rather you boo me than pay attention, than not pay attention.
Not pay attention.
Yes.
Yes.
So I hope I made my point with that because I'm sure I pissed a lot of people off with that comment. But that's what I do.
Dumbway Ray says, Haymer and Brian were the Jordan and Pippen of the band world. Made You Look says, did Brian Simmons write Nobody Does It Better?
He did.
Really?
Brian Simmons wrote a lot of.
I didn't know
Brian
that.
Simmons is that guy.
Wow.
I'm not going to deny that. I wrote a lot of hits. Everybody on the staff wrote hits, but Brian Simmons had the energy and the synergy and everything I knew he would be, and I needed that. He was truly my yang to my yin, like because I was so busy fighting administration. I could, I'm just so. And Brian, I got it. And Brian just go out there and call the right song, and I'm just calm. Wow. Like, Brian has always been just the guy I needed, even when I didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. And he always had a level head for his age. And people truly didn't understand our relationship until they saw his talent the way I did.
Yeah. You know, I got to observe it firsthand. You know, I had only seen Brian in that band uniform conducting, but to actually hear his voice and to hear it was like, oh, now this makes perfect sense. It was yin and yang over there. Black 214 Beer says the classics between Haymer and Simmons are unmatched. I've watched Anniversary by Tony several times, let alone clips of Keith Sweat against JSU. Can we get Anniversary in the control room by Tony?
They have to pull up the don't pull up the 2011 version against Texas Southern. we played it in 2014 too, but I was in a different mood. 2014 rocked it in a different vibe. And that's what I was feeling.
And what kind of a different vibe? Like, describe that too. Because
11 was war. We finna just. 2014 was just like everything's
more
good.
of a calmer.
I love you, my brother. So they both sound good, but 2011 is the one that put everybody on notice. We played, it's actually against Texas Southern. Merck City Classic 2011, fifth quarter. Well, actually, all you have to do is type in Southern University anniversary. It's there. Get the one by the edge. That's Garrett Edgerson. He's actually the over the media team at Southern. That's the one who I put in place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get the one by him. He has the best one.
There's Garrett Edgerson. There's also going way back, like in my day, there was marching sport.
Gerard Howard.
Gerard Howard.
That's his true name. Gerard played bass drum for Jackson State.
Okay.
A cool brother, though.
Very cool.
Very down to earth and cool.
Very cool.
Brother Howard, I haven't seen you in a while, but you were the OG of this.
Yes.
And if nobody giving you your flowers, which that you deserve, I'm going to give you your
Before
flowers.
any of this.
He was the first media.
Yeah.
He was the team. It wasn't no media team. It was him.
It was him. Yeah.
Hey, people, Gerard Howard.
Yeah.
And he had a website.
Yes.
Black college bands, then it became marching sport.
Yep.
I was there from the beginning. Anybody remember me? I started off on a SWAC page as Tower of Power, then I became the artist. I used to get kicked out pages because I was talking trash. So I was always controversial, even as a student. I used to talk trash. The band director used to call me in the office, and I'm thinking I'm in trouble for talking trash. Well, next time you get on it, say this. And say this. And we don't have no phone, so I'm just writing on notepad. What else you going to say? And I go, so yeah, that's how I got my start.
I'm looking at I'm Rodney 93 says, how did the band adapt to Brian going from student to director? That has to be huge.
Well, if you look at, it's another clip. Same Merck City Classic, 2011, where we play anniversary. You will look at a moment that I wanted to post, but I didn't know how people would take it because the way I am. And I would never try to take credit for Brian Simmons' talent, his whole genius. That he was born with that. That's something you born with. And I remember, everybody know what this means. Oh, ready, up. And I'm like, I don't know what to call. Rolling in the Deep. Adele just released that song.
Right, I remember
this
that.
2011.
Was it 2011?
Yes. And I say, Brian, come down. Now, Brian's a sophomore.
Yeah.
We at Texas Southern. I called Rolling Deep. He wrote it. Come down. I could have called it out. I was
Wait,
tired.
he's what year?
He was a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
So I said in the previous episode that he was ghostwriting for me. So Rolling in the Deep had my name on it, I believe. But this time the band started to realize, because one thing everything I wrote is what I wrote, and they know what I wrote. I'm never going to take credit for another man's work. And the way that Brian was writing, so I'm calling out Rolling in the Deep. I'm assistant band director. Lawrence Jackson right there on the side of me. And Brian come down, he look at me like, what you doing? But he didn't question it because he trusts me.
What did he play? What was he playing at the time?
Brian?
Yeah.
Brian played baritone, so he's near the top, trombones behind him, drums behind it. Brian runs down the middle. You can look up Rolling in the Deep at the Merck City class. You see him running down. He conducting in his uniform. He called it out, and I'm right there on the side because I wanted the world to know.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. This man got this. And that's the time I was running the band, the only arranger. But the stuff he did, it's just like, dude, I can't let you go to no high school.
Wow.
I can't let you go to another university. Hey, you are Southern through and through. You were, but Brian Simmons, guess what? And I don't want to talk about him too much because Brian is a private guy, and I don't want to see him. Brian Simmons is Brian Simmons the second. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. His daddy actually played in the band, Crabbed in 1987, played baritone too.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Brian come from a history of this. His dad is very quiet and reserved, so you would never know.
Wow.
One of the most humble dudes you can meet. Great brother. But hey, Brian is the future of this.
I think they have Tony.
That's it. Just listen to the intro. And look at the crowd. The guy with the duck hunt hat in the back, in the front. this in 2011. Like, these are the first clips that make YouTube, which is distorted because the cell phone is not designed to capture all this time. So my thoughts of a media team and the future of what people know band is now started right there.
Y'all not ready.
Like the first clips back in the day, like Marching Sport got it straight, but it took him a while to do all his editing.
Mm-hmm.
So the first clips they used to make it online, like 06, 07, 08, 09, was like somebody's cell phone. And you think about the different types of technology that was out, like 06, 07, you're dealing with razors and thin phones and iPhones that just came out that people didn't understand in 06.
Right.
So that would be the first clips people see to be so distorted. So I was like, we need a media team and we need to produce this. I can't stop people from recording in the stadium. They can have a phone. They can do what they want. But I can just give the people what they want where they won't go to these cell phone clips no more. Right. And that's what built it. That was my vision. And that's what started all the media team.
And now everybody has a media team. Now everybody and their mom has a media team. And it's kind of like copying off of what it was. Now,
somebody got to lead. Hey, somebody was the first news station, and everybody copied.
And then they copied.
I don't see it as more of copying us. It's doing what's necessary to survive.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask the folks in the control room to bring up these 3 words. This was one of the parts in the book where, and if you go get Juked, the book, and this is it right here, it's available on Amazon. This was one of the moments, and there were several moments where, like, I put the book down and I went to YouTube to look for the moment.
The whole book is really a YouTube fact check.
Yeah,
because I when I wrote it, I just remember all the stuff that was out there. And we could do these 3 words. That's emotional, but we got to get to the fun too. So we got to do Alabama State too.
Actually, yeah, let's skip these 3 words and let's go to Alabama State.
Because the people have been waiting what I want to say. We kind of teased it. I said I do love Alabama State. And somebody say, when Dr. Oliver retired, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not speaking that, but all I'm saying is it's a reason why I love them.
Yeah. So Alabama State University, you know, we started talking about it with the first episode of the podcast. And so as they bring that up, Alabama State used to do, and I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do a pregame. They would do a pregame on the field. And, I'm going to wait for the folks to bring it up. What
it's
year
only
is this,
2 bands that I know of that did a traditional pregame show. Mm-hmm. Southern used to for Bayou Classic. They cut that out in 2008. But Florida A&M and Alabama State, which if you know the history of Alabama State, is based off of Florida A&M. But I knew what they was going to do. And I was like, okay, all right. I want y'all to march down to the end zone and put on Park in front of my band.
Enoch Brome
and
says,
we're going to show you what time it is.
Enoch Brome says, SU versus Bama State in 2013.
13.
Yes.
Oh, my God. 13 was like the prequel to 15. Yes. 15 was brutal. Mm-hmm. But 13, put it like this. Why do you love Alabama State, Haymer? Stop it.
Yes.
The stadium has the best acoustics that I ever.
Really?
Out of all stadiums I ever visited.
Alabama State.
Alabama State, their new stadium.
Really?
But that stadium has been a curse for that band because they have been getting thrashed royally by many bands. And I'm pretty sure I probably would piss them off. But I love Alabama State band. I like their history. I love y'all band. Y'all band director is a cool guy. That's my frat brother. So when I say there's only one band director in the SWAC I don't like, it's not Dr. Oliver. Dr. Oliver is cool with me. Mm-hmm. But it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun.
Talking about that, y'all. As they bring it up, you mentioned...
Because when you know the playbook, you know this is their pregame.
Right.
And they're going to play all of this, and then they're going to march down to the end zone. They're going to make a tunnel for the football team to run through. Football team ain't out there, so they made a tunnel.
Yeah.
And they stopped. And we cranked on them.
Wow. Let's see that they're going to pull that up. But also, as they're pulling that up, you mentioned that last shot was at Delmar Stadium because TSU played in Delmar while they were still building Dynamo Stadium. And now it's some bank, they name it after some same stadium. But I dislike that stadium for bands because the band is it's not a football stadium, it's a soccer stadium.
It's a true soccer stadium.
And so they're up so high.
Delmar was perfect.
It's really
they need to still be playing at Delmar. I don't know the politics behind Delmar and why
it's a high school. It's a high school stadium, but I always said if I won the Powerball, if I won the 1.2 billion, one of the first things I would do, I'm building a stadium for Texas Southern University.
What would you build it at?
We would figure some shit out. It would be in Third Ward.
They so landlocked.
They're landlocked, true.
Beautiful campus.
But if you look at it,
and they deserve their own stadium. I agree with you.
For homecoming, they actually bring in like temporary. They like Lego block.
So they actually can build it.
So they could. It wouldn't look like anything traditional, but it doesn't have to look like anything traditional. And I think that becomes an intimate experience. So y'all.
I think if I ever hit the lottery,
listen,
I would donate to Texas Southern.
There you go.
And Jackson State University.
I would just do Texas Southern.
I would do both because I support what both of their bands are doing. And people probably surprised I said Jackson State because Jackson State is a natural enemy to Southern. It's a natural rival, but that don't mean you can't respect them either. And I respect what they're doing. I respect what they're doing, and let's just say this fall is going to be an interesting year. I'm sure somebody going to clip what I just said and put that in one of the band groups. But it's all good because I can stand on what I just said. Like I admire what Dr. Little is doing with Jackson State University right now. Just know you will have some problems if I was still at Southern, but I admire what you're doing.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure. It is the very last one before we go to these 3 words. And they're going to pull that up in a second. But, yeah, ASU would do a field show. I'm trying to think of what are some of the other, as a band director and as an HBCU band head, what are some of the other traditions that really, like, stand out, pros and cons to you?
Oh, Lord. Bayou Classic is starting to get with the times.
Okay.
But we're all into this just royal court type of stuff when the crowd is really not there. Like you have to deal with. We're in Generation Alpha now.
Yeah.
I can't even keep touch with the generations.
We can't hear it, but we see it.
This is Alabama A&M. This is not
Alabama
State.
A&M. That's not.
We already saw
Alabama
this one.
State.
This is Superstar.
Yeah. It's this one. Maybe it's my. Yeah.
It's the one where everybody's thinking I'm crazy. Oh. And the guy comes down. I'm gonna talk about it when it comes up. Let's pull it up first, because they're gonna need to know what I told the guy.
What year was that with SU and ASU?
It was pregame 2015.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get it up there.
Where did this logo came from? Because this was your era.
This is Alcorn.
That's Alcorn. It's purple and gold.
Yeah. So that's another battle, though, that we need to talk about that I forgot about.
But continue. Let it,
So we getting situated in the stands. They blew on us coming in. This is 2014. So this is before everybody knew. They had Southern University marching band, but they didn't know they had a Human Jukebox. That's the difference between the two. People who know, they know. I'm gonna let them finish this. It's cute. Now this is a crowd though. At least they have people there.
They do. Which who is it that has people sitting on the field? Which group is that? This stadium has people sitting.
It's a hill.
Yeah, is it Alcorn? Is it Alcorn?
It's Alcorn. So they're sitting on the hill too. Alcorn has probably the most beautiful campus I saw in the history. Without Alcorn, you would be looking at Nathan Haymer. Why? Because my mother went to Alcorn. My father went to Alcorn. They met in Alcorn.
Wow.
So I'm a product of Alcorn. To tell the truth, they met there. They're from Mississippi. My daddy went to law school at this new law school at HBCU called Southern, and that's where we were born. But my family is actually from Mississippi. Yes. So I'm just as much Mississippi as I am Louisiana.
That is so interesting.
So here's me. We playing our warm up.
Yeah.
I start out many battles this way. You just done effed up. Cut it off. Cut it off. Ready? And off. Not cut it off.
Keep it going. No.
Not cut it off. I'm talking about the band.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fast forward to
he listened to me.
Yeah, he was listening.
I know. My bad. I'm just sitting here talking.
Yeah.
My bad. That's on me, y'all. That's on me. We done missed it. This is the second song. Rewind a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Little bit more. Right here. We just gonna sit through the tuba drum break one more time.
This is interesting because it has you live right now there. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Oh no, that was just.
Alco and band directors at the time was probably one of my better friends.
Okay.
Dr. Bird. So if y'all trying to figure out which band director I don't like, it's not nobody at Alco.
Somebody says video guy takes the L.
Okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna say cut it out. I'm gonna tell him to cut it out. So this is our warm up. So they think we're warming up. Now we're gonna cut off, and we're gonna not give her. There it is.
There you go. Yeah.
I just wanted to kick it off, then I pass it on to Brian. I get it started and I sit down.
When Kendrick Tyson says, when Haymer tells him to drop that downbeat. That's it. Absolutely. You know, I remember one of my really good friends who was part of the part one. She went to Southern, and she actually she invited me to my first Southern game. I had seen Southern at Bayou Classic, but the year y'all were at Reliant or something, and it was it brought a tear to my eye. It was like,
I think the last time we played at Reliant was 07.
okay.
No.
It would have been after that. It would have been after that. It had to be.
09.
It had to be after 12 because.
09. I don't remember going on Reliant.
It was the end of the
All right, so Alco gonna respond.
Oh, we have a caller, so we'll bring on Philip Jeffries. We'll bring him on if we can.
And we can turn this off because we made our point.
Welcome to the Juked podcast.
How you doing?
Doing good. What's going on?
Nothing much. This is Jeffrey. I go under DOCTA3 underscores on Instagram. And I put in the comments with everybody trying to figure out that will we see you back in action? That's
when
the
will
question.
you see me back in action?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, very soon, because as much as I didn't want to do it anymore, and that was my mind frame. I'm done, but it keeps calling me back. So very soon. I can't tell you exactly when. All I can tell you is very soon, and sooner than most people think.
Right. I have a good feeling you probably going to land at Texas Southern. I don't know why, but
why everybody saying Texas Southern?
Because
I'm in Houston?
Context clues, yeah. They're
okay.
In Houston, yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your call. We just gonna have to see. It might be, it might not be, but just know I'm open for any possibility.
Well, good luck. I wish you the best, man.
Thank you so much.
J-Pop 713 and Desmond Allen 83. J-Pot says 2013 versus U of H was at Reliant. And Desmond Allen 83 said we played Jackson State in Reliant.
Wait, you say 2008?
2013.
It sure was. He's correct.
2013, yeah.
He's correct. I'm thinking of HBCU games. And Jackson State was the SWAC championship.
Yeah.
That was in Reliant. I'm thinking of Texas Southern and Prairie View.
It wasn't the SWAC championship. Like, I remember it was a game where I only went because
they correct, though.
Liz was like, the band will be there. And that was my time to hear y'all.
But I'm thinking about Texas Southern and Prairie. I'm thinking about a regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
And my last time remember playing Texas Southern in Reliance Stadium was 2007. And Prairie View was 2008. That was the last time we played them in Reliant. Now, we did have games afterwards, like they named, but the Texas schools, we didn't play them that much. We ended up playing Prairie View at a stadium somewhere in Houston. We would play Texas Southern when we come Del Mar or somewhere in Houston. Mm-hmm. But it was never Astrodome. All the times, when I say Astrodome, in the 90s when I marched, when we had to come to Houston, it was straight Astrodome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we knew we was going to Astrodome, whether it was Prairie View or whether it was Texas Southern, we was playing in Astrodome.
Yeah.
And shortly after that became Reliant NRG, what it is today. But my last memory of Texas Southern and Prairie View in that stadium is 2007 for Texas Southern and 2008 for Prairie View. And I know I'm right. Check my band facts. I mean, go YouTube is out there, but I know I'm right with those two. So, yeah.
Absolutely. If you two have questions, call in to 281-734-5683 or drop them in on the chat on Instagram. Kendrick Heisen says, or when Haymer had SU Mock Alcorn halftime show playing Alcorn's fight song.
2016.
And the kids was cutting up on the field.
That's 2016. That's the dance routine. And they was doing, I told them to freestyle. If we going to play the fight song, they play this, they call it Cherokee. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Then the whole crowd goes, ooh, 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 ooh.
Yes, yes.
So they was actually doing all that.
Yes.
And I said, just make up something on the spot. Mm-hmm. And you had kids riding a horse. You had some twerking. You had some doing a split. You had doing flips. They was doing whatever. And when I actually saw the recording, I was like, y'all crazy. They gave me what I asked for.
Yeah.
But I was crying laughing so hard. And it housed out. Wow. I had so many people call me about that show that was just so happy about it from high up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was one of the legendary shows, too.
Absolutely. All for our two says, nothing was better than these three words. Battle of the Bands in Charlotte. Can we get these three words up?
Oh, Lord.
And while they're pulling that up, we'll do a little lightning round. Other than Southern, favorite fight song?
Alabama State.
Really? Okay.
I'm putting a hum y'all fight song, so I'm doing it wrong. Y'all know I'm wrong. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Yeah, da, 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 ba, 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 yeah. That's Alabama. I like their fight song. Jackson State, of course, they have a true fight song. Most people don't know, but most people know Get Ready as they unofficial fight song. I like Jackson State. Here we go. Worst time in my life at that point. Most people don't know it. And I say at that point because I experienced much worse, but at that time I thought life was over.
And there you are on a podium directing the band in front of you.
And that's the back of the stadium, but if they could see the other side, it was packed. And this is our first time, the band's first time in its history, actually going to North Carolina. So I knew we'd be successful because most of the people heard of us, but they never saw us live. And to experience that live, you know how many people I talked to after the show? And I stayed there for everybody, like 2 hours, just shaking hands and talking, just to the crowd. We did so well that they required us to stay and do an encore performance. That's on YouTube as well. That wasn't practice. We played actually 2 songs after the show was over.
I wonder if they show. There's one of the versions of this where they have a second camera and it shows you.
This is the March Sport version. Up top.
But the jukebox.
The one that showed us the jukebox.
You could literally see it like on your face. And at the time when I saw it, I didn't know, but when I read it in the book, it was like, oh, that's what happened.
That was pain, man. That was pain. Like, I didn't hear all the cheers. I just knew. Everybody see all this. I was going back home to a hotel. I stayed in a hotel for 9 months. And then I eventually went back to my house. It was still, I had a contract with, the whole city. So I ended up living in the garage on the air mattress for like 2 months. I didn't have nothing but a bathroom. My house was a shell. Gutted out. They took one of the bathrooms. So I had my guest bathroom in my garage. That's why I was living till I said I'm gonna live like that. But I was living like that here. Still running the band. More about the truth or the scandal. And the second part,
after that experience being humble, what does it feel like being humble versus humiliating?
Well, I could tell you this, since you asked that question. Being on top of the mountain and being at the lowest point was kind of the same experience. Not the same problems, but the same experience, because you still felt by yourself. You still felt lonely. When you're at the top, you feel alone, and when you're at the bottom, you feel alone. So the humbleness came, it's like, dude, you got to be yourself and just be you, because you put yourself on the side to achieve this goal, and when you got to the top, you still was lonely. And now you lost this and you're at the bottom and everybody making all kind of jokes on you. You still feel just as lonely. So I always felt isolated. The humbleness come in when you really realize your impact was not things that you intended, but things you take credit for, because it was just a byproduct. Like, because I was this way, these things happened, this staff came in and we did this and that. You have to take credit up for it because that's your decision, but that wasn't your intent. The humbleness come in also because when you remove from the emotion of it and you realize the true impact, you just have to be humble that people still see you as one of the great ones when you don't feel like you deserve it sometimes. The humbleness come in by realizing that you really your own worst enemy. I said it earlier, the voices in your head. I heard a lot of hate about myself. I read a lot of bad things about myself, but nothing was worse than the things that I actually told myself. The things that you tell yourself, the disappointment you feel for your family and people who love you, and they still proud of you anyway. The front that we put on that we got to be this and that, and if we don't really have to be nobody but ourselves and just walk in our true gifts and realize that we only just people. And when you people, you're prone to mistakes. You're prone to just doing human things, human temptations and all that stuff. And when I started seeing myself just as a man, that's when I started forgiving myself. So the hardest part of this journey that I've been on was, how do I forgive myself? Because I had to forgive myself for the pain that I caused my family, that I caused my staff, that I caused people who depended on me. Not me. Like, yeah, I was mad about not having what I wanted, but I had a lot of people who depended on me just to wake up that morning. And by me not being where I'm supposed to be or being in the position I need to be, it caused them a lot of heartache. But I realized, like, people gonna love you. If they really love you, they gonna love you anyway. The people who hate you wasn't really there for you anyway. They just there for the benefits. So I had to shake all of that out. I had to shake out a lot of leeches and parasites that come along with being successful. Because you got a lot of people who attach themselves to you and will make you feel like you owe them.
Yeah.
And you really don't owe nobody nothing. You just only thing you owe the world is just to be your true, authentic self.
Absolutely.
So that's where I am right now.
Absolutely. You know, I say this all the time, whether it was reading this book or even before. I think you are a real treasure, not only for the HBCU community, but for the music community and for the leadership community at large. I think, you know, your next chapter is bigger than anything that anybody could imagine. I think you have the potential to change the trajectory of not only music programs and public education and HBCUs, but also leadership programs. I see a lot of people learning from you that are thinking of starting their own businesses, that are thinking of starting something, or that are currently in leadership programs. When people read this book, Juked by Nathan Haymer, that's available on Amazon and jukethebook.com, I think there's a lot of nuggets that people can take away, and I think this is only the beginning. I'm going to read a couple of things from online. I'm Rodney93 said, did the HBCU world reach out during the flood of 2016?
Funny thing is, who I remember reaching out was Ohio State University.
Wow, you did.
The number one band in the country.
Yeah.
And we were number 2 at the time, according to the rankings.
Sports Illustrated, yeah.
Yes. So I did appreciate that. So I remember that. I don't remember too much of HBCU reaching out. I don't know. No, I don't remember that.
All for Our Two says, no one knew that you were going through what you were in Charlotte. You definitely transferred that pain into passion as you directed.
I was too proud to tell anybody. I mean, the band knew, but I was too proud. I didn't think nobody cared. So I didn't really know how to communicate that. That was like a first major loss in my life as far as property and things like that. But if I realized I was losing before then, it's like people chasing a dream. Like, don't lose who you are. Don't change who you are, shall I say. You're going to change somewhat doing a job, but don't change who you are chasing the dream. If it's meant for you, it's going to be for you, and it's going to accept you as you are and the people who are currently in your life. I should say that. So I'm very proud of my history, but I learned a lot from that pain. And there's still a lot more I have to give, but at the same time, I know just to be yourself. You ain't got to be this person that you think they want to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To the person that's out there right now that's thinking about getting into leading a band, like they are either already leading a band in a city somewhere at a high school that's underfunded and understaffed, and they're wondering, should they stay in this? And if they do, what, are the steps that they should take? What advice do you give to those?
If they wonder if they should stay in this, then I already know that's their calling. Because something that you're calling, you always going to be questioned. You always going to ask why. So that's your calling. The steps you should do is to believe in yourself and trust your gut and just go for it. Go for it. Only one or two things going to happen. You're going to succeed or you're going to fail, but it's going to be a learning lesson between the two. Don't be scared. Never doubt yourself. You see what it did for me. I doubted myself. And when I started realizing my true power, it was towards the end. But when you doubt yourself, you invite many leeches, many devils, and many people who's going to attach themselves to your success. Never doubt yourself. You built for this. If you in it and you've been doing it, you built for this. You're going to have questions. You're going to have questions. You're going to have moments with weak moments. But know it's just okay because people before you had the same weak moments.
Absolutely. We have Enoch Brome who says, when is Haymer going to teach arranging classes?
Hey, get the people who are interested. we could talk about it. We could do a Zoom.
Absolutely.
We could do whatever. Hey, it's no substitute for passion. That's the first thing. Before you arrange, you have to feel it, and then you have to know how to properly communicate that feeling. And yeah, the sky is truly the limit. What's the future for me? So would I ever be a band director? Would I ever leave what school? Insert the name here. This arranging class. I say yes to everything because I still have a lot to give. It's just gonna happen my way this time. It's gonna happen with a way that I can actually be me and care about it, but also take time to just not make band my life.
Yeah.
Human Jukebox was my life.
Yeah.
And when I was fired, I thought life was over. And I had to realize, I had to learn who Nathan Haymer was. Because my whole adult life, all I ever been was a band director. From the age of 22 to the age of 40, when I was first fired. I've never been fired before. And I like to say fired because they fired me. And I own that. Because I wasn't going to walk away. They gave me, first of all, I'm glad I mentioned that. The first option was to take a position in the music department. I didn't show up for the meeting with my arrogant ass. I didn't show up for the meeting. They was going to reassign me. It was maybe a pathway for me to come back. But my proud ass, you ain't finna reassign nothing. I didn't show up for the meeting. So now you got two options since you ain't show up for our meeting. You either be terminated or you be fired. So something didn't really kick me out the door until I said, F you. Because not showing up was an F you. But I'm going back to the mind frame. The Nathan Haymer, they would have showed up to that meeting.
Yeah.
Mind frame I had, no. Man, I ain't showing up to that. I'm Nathan Haymer.
Yeah. You know, Nathan, I'm 38 going on 39. And the older that I get, the more I take a deep breath and I sort of think about the outcomes of things before it comes. And not to say that you were wrong with a lot of your decisions, but, you know.
When you're young, you just have that rah, and you don't think about outcomes. But when you get about 38, you start thinking about just longevity and outcomes.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I would do a lot of things differently now. But the raw me is what made the band so great. That was my biggest blessing and my biggest curse all in one. It was just raw.
Absolutely. And as we round it to a close, I want to read a couple of comments and then we'll leave the last word to you. I'm Outside Food says, the best to ever do it. One of the greatest mentors I've ever known. Washington Marion Jukebox class of 2004. Wow. Love you, Haymer. Go Cardi 87 says, the best thing in Lake Charles. I'm Outside Food says, absolutely. Black 214 Bear says, the love we know you have for music. We know you haven't ever stopped writing. So what bangers are you sitting on? Are you sitting at home with the MIDI track on the MacBook?
I haven't stopped writing. I slowed down a lot, but if you follow me on Instagram, I think the last arrangement that I posted was actually like the last day of the year of 2024. December 30th or 31st, which was Avant and Kiki White.
I remember. I listened to
well,
that. It was a MIDI thing. It was a MIDI like.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
And if I hear a band play that, but yeah, I'm still writing. I mean, right now I have to write because I owe some people some music, so I have to write for a few high schools. But I'm still writing. And I teach elementary school as well. I teach general music. But what the future holds, it's just going to require me to step out on a leap of faith, and we just going to see. Absolutely. And that's been my whole life.
I'm going to run through a few more. Stickaholic says, as a PV alumni, I think I can speak for everyone who had a lineup against SU during your tenure, felt it in their gut when your tenure ended.
All right, Prairie View.
8 to 5.
I like PV.
8 to 5 said, who is your favorite drum major while at Southern? We're not going to make you answer that because that's,
I didn't have that many. Yeah. I think I had 3. In 4 years, I had 3, though. So that's a lot for 4 years. Yeah. And I loved them all equally.
There you go.
I started with Keith, then Brendan, then Trevon. Who was my favorite? All 3, because they all was what I wanted.
There you go. LaC3 says, what age do you think is appropriate for a collegiate director?
The age he ready. I was collegiate director at 36. Most people didn't think that was appropriate.
Wow.
Brian was a collegiate director younger than me, 31, 30.
Wow. Yeah.
So-
He's wise beyond his years. Like, I saw that sitting down. That was a really rewarding
Like
experience. and I
headband
appreciate
director,
you.
yes. So
yeah.
I don't know. And then I'm 47 today, and I'm still ready. So it's whenever they ready.
Marky CM says 8 to 5, great question. Ricky on 60 says the band sound changed as soon as you left. Roland Gordon 504 says the best SU band was when you ran SU.
I would like to say this. In the history of the whole Southern University, and the marching band started in the 1930s. They had music before that, but it started in the 1930s. They had a lot of legendary bands that passed through there. And it was just my goal to make one of my bands a part of that conversation. And I think I achieved that goal, and I'm good with Southern. Like, a lot of people say, would you ever go back? And I answered that online. I would never say never. But all I say is, if I don't go back, I'm good, because I'm always going to be etched in history because I gave it my all. I left that empty. I gave them more than what they paid for. They can say whatever they want to say about me, but I gave y'all my everything. I used to spend a night in my office some nights just working in there. My students will tell you.
Absolutely. Well, y'all, this has been episode 2 with the one and only Nathan Haymer. If you're watching this live, you can leave comments. And if you are watching the recap of this, please comment, share, and ask questions, because you never know what's coming up next. And Haymer, I'll leave it up to you with the final words.
The best is yet to come. Thank you for tuning in. It's Haymer time always, and I'm always going to keep you on the edge of your seat, so you never know what's coming on next.
There you go.
Let's get it, baby.
Can you give us an and down?
Woo! Oh, ready. Up. We just crank I don't give a. And they know what this means.
Right?
And down.
There you go.
I love my Human Jukebox.
There you
I
go.
love you, and I wish you the best season this year, and I know y'all going to be great. Just know I support the current students. I don't know what you heard or what you think. Jukebox through and through.
There you go. All right, y'all.